These are my babies. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video for you guys is reading my booktubers, booktalkers favorite book. So I did a lot of research trying to figure out what their favorites was, and it took me at least an hour to figure out. So first, we're gonna start off with Larry Reads. Larry Reads actually found her off of TikTok. I love her vibes and I absolutely trust her book recommendation. YouTube videos, I went through her GOODREADS. I was watching other YouTubers videos that she recommended books to them and stuff, and I came down to 4 books. The first one is A Love Letter to Whiskey. The second one is Aftermath, which is A Court of Mist and Fury. The third one is Insatiable, and the fourth one is Beautiful Fiend. I'm gonna tell you guys the ones I didn't choose and the ones that I did choose. The first book I did not choose is A Love Letter to Whiskey, and that is because I chose it for someone else. So actually a lot of my booktubers that I like, they all have a similar 5-star favorite god tier reads. So then Aftermath, I didn't choose that is because I'm actually reading that right now. Where is it? Aftermath is on my bed. I'm actually reading that right now for a reading vlog. So I'm doing a reading vlog where I read the whole ACOTAR series with Thorn and Glass and Crescent City. But the 2 books that I did choose is Insatiable because I already have it on my bookshelf. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna choose this because why not? And this is a dark romance. And the next one is Beautiful Fiend, but I did not find that in stores. So I will have it on my Kindle Unlimited. Most of the books that I chose are on Kindle Unlimited, which is great. I did choose 2 books for every booktuber, by the way. The next person is Mariana. I also actually discovered her off of TikTok, but I discovered her food channel first. A Love Letter to Whiskey is also one of her favorites. And then the next book is The Predator, which I do have on my shelf actually. But I decided I'm not going to do The Predator. I was going to save that series. Okay, so the 2 books that I chose, Nocticadia, which is a dark academia gothic romance, and they did not have this book in stores. And the next book I'm gonna read is The Poppy War. I do have on my Kindle Unlimited, but I decided to go buy some books today to do this booktube challenge because I was like, why not? I was like, why not buy the books because it'll be more fun. And then whatever I cannot find, I'll read that on Kindle Unlimited. So I got The Poppy War. I love the cover so much. I was going to get the whole trilogy. So those are from Mariana. Oh, A Poppy War is a grim, dark fantasy historical fiction. The next one is Sarah. And Sarah actually discovered her through Larry's video, and I absolutely loved her vibe since then. The 4 books that I picked out, the first one is Funny Story, and I believe that's from Emily Henry, which I don't have. I do have her other books, but I don't have that. And then the next one is Firefly Lane. So those are not the 2 books that I chose, but the 2 books that I did choose, one of them is Nightingale, which is a historical fiction. I actually already have it. So that is the main reason why I picked it, because I already have the book. And the next one is actually a contemporary fiction. And this was one of the books that she basically bought for Larry for one of their book swap videos. And it's Beartown. I actually been wanting to buy this book. I am really excited to read this because I heard it's really good, and apparently she cries throughout this, and I believe this is a trilogy. The next person is Yana, and I actually discovered Yana a while ago, and that was for her makeup beauty content. The 4 books I picked, the first one is Quicksilver. Did not pick that for Yana because Quicksilver is a lot of people's favorites. And then the second one is Love Unwritten. I was gonna get that, but then I realized when I looked at it, it was the second book of the series. I decided that I was going to do the 2 other books on the Yana's list, which is The Serpent, The Wings of Night. This is one of the books that I chose to do. And this is, I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy book. And the second book that I picked is A Love Letter to Whiskey, which is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm gonna have to read off my Kindle. A Love Letter to Whiskey, I literally saw on Larry's and Mariana's favorites, so I decided to pick that for Yana. Oh, A Love Letter to Whiskey is a contemporary romance Laura, and she is I actually discovered her through Larry's and Mariana's videos. The 4 books that I picked was Quicksilver, I mentioned earlier. So I did not choose that. The second one is When the Moon Hatched, which I was gonna do. The two books that I picked for Laura is Never Keep, which is a romantasy, and this is the first book. I believe they're called The Twisted Sisters, which is also on Kindle Unlimited. And then the second book that I chose, Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale, they did not have that in stores. I've been looking everywhere for it, so I could not find it. But I know I have it on my Kindle because I actually downloaded it like 2 weeks ago. And it is a dark gothic historical romance. Okay, so the next person I'm doing is Bailey. Also discovered them from Mariana's and Larry's videos. Absolutely love her vibes. The 4 books that I chose, one is The Favorites, which I was gonna do, but I was like, I'm not really, it's not calling my name, and it seems like I'm not gonna be interested in it. The second book is Insatiable. I skipped that for Bailey because I'm doing that for Larry. So the 2 books I picked, one is Quicksilver. All these girls basically love. So I was like, you know what? It can't hurt. So I bought the physical copy, even though it's on Kindle Unlimited, which is a science fiction romantasy. No, a science fiction fantasy, sorry. And then the next book, I don't know if this is the right book, and I did find out her Goodreads though, so I'm assuming this is the book that they're talking about. But in one of their videos, I believe it was Emmy's and Laura's, Larry read each of their favorites, got tier like 5-star. Her say, you read Drive. So I did research, and I believe Drive is one of her favorite books, so I'm assuming it's this one. And I found it on her Goodreads too, and I could not find it in stores, so it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm just gonna have to download that. But it's a contemporary romance. The last booktuber that I chose is Emmy, and Emmy is known to read like romance and fantasy. I believe she's like a huge fantasy girl, so I went through her like top fantasy reads, her Goodreads, her recent videos, and like books she recommended in other people's like videos. First one is Metal Slinger, which Larry said that she was actually supposed to read Metal Slinger and annotate that for her, but instead she annotated the favorites for her. So I was like, oh, Metal Slinger, and I searched up her Goodreads. It is one of her 5 stars. So I was like, okay, we can do that, or we can do this Woven Kingdom, which I do have on my bookshelf, but I was like, you know, I'm not really in the mood for that, so we're not doing that. So the 2 that I chose, Heavenly Bodies, because I already have it. I bought it the other day, and this is a romantasy, and I know I said I was not going to read romantasy anytime soon, but I'm already reading Aquaman, so you know, more fantasy and romantasy on its way. And the second book that I'm going to be reading that is Emmy's favorite, and this is also Mariana's favorite. It is City of Gods and Monsters, book 1, and this is a urban fantasy paranormal romance, which I'm really excited for. But it is huge. A House of Devils series. In total, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books, 5 books that are in Kindle Unlimited. Don't even know when I'm going to be posting this, but today is February 27th. I did buy some books, so I was going to show you guys that too before we get started. Rebel Witch, which is the book 2 of, what is it called? Heartless Hunter, which I haven't read yet, so I'm excited to read this. And I bought the Barnes & Noble's exclusive edition. The regular one is usually a red cover, so got that. And then I also bought the Gold Rush Ranch series, which I already have book 1, which is Off to the Races. So I just bought the rest of the series because I'm planning on reading Elsie Silver soon, for like reading Elsie Silver for a week or something. So, and this is a false start, a photo finish, the front runner. So I'm gonna go through all the books and basically just do a quick rundown real quick. The first person is Sarah, and we're gonna be reading Beartown by Frederick Backman, which is a contemporary fiction, and this is also on KU. And then The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, which is a historical fiction. The next person is Yana, and we're going to be reading The Serpent, The Wings of Night, and I'm pretty sure this is just a fantasy. And then this is also on KU. And then I'm also going to be reading A Love Letter to Whiskey, which is a contemporary romance, so I'm going to be reading that on my KU. Next person is Larry, and I'm going to be reading Insatiable, and this is book 1. And this is the Edge of Darkness trilogy, and this is by Leah Rivers. And I'm also going to be reading Beautiful Fiend, which is a dark romance, and I'm going to read that on my Kindle. Next person is Mariana. What I'm going to be reading is The Poppy War, which is grim dark fantasy historical fiction, and I know this is on KU. On my Kindle, I'm going to be reading Nacadia, which is a dark academia gothic romance. For Laura, I'm gonna be reading Never Keep by the Twisted Sisters, and this is book 1, and this is a romantasy. On my Kindle, I'll be reading Fairytale, which is a dark gothic historical romance. Next person is Bailey, and I'm gonna be reading Quicksilver by Kelly Hart, and this is a science fiction fantasy, and this is also on KU. Also, I'm gonna be reading Drive, which is a contemporary romance, and that's on my KU as well. And the last person is Emmy, and for Emmy, I'm gonna be reading City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards, which is book 1, and this is a House of Devils series. And then for the second book, I'm gonna be reading Heavenly Bodies by Imani. I can't pronounce the last name, so sorry, but this is a romantasy. So those are all the books that I'm gonna be reading. I don't know what order I'm gonna be reading. Okay, I think I decided what books I'm gonna read in what order. Now I'm just saying it may change when you guys see this, like when you guys are like witnessing me read these books, it might change, but for now I ordered it in the order that I think I won't get tired of a genre. We're gonna start off with A Letter to Whiskey. I'm gonna be reading Insatiable. Okay, then we go into Beartown with Poppy War. Then we go into Quicksilver, and you go into City of Gods and Monsters. Okay, Never Keep. Then after Never Keep, I'm gonna be reading Beautiful Fiend, and then Noctadia and Drive. And after that, we go into Heavenly Bodies, Fairytale, which is on my Kindle. The last 2 books are The Serpent, The Wings of Night, and then The Nightingale. But yeah, so whenever I do start reading these books, I'll catch you guys up.